Hello folks, my name is Dimitro, I'm your instructor for BCIS 1305 and I will try to walk you through the grading criteria for the class. The lecture part should be pretty straightforward with 13 chapters and then the final comprehensive exam that makes up 50% of your grade. Then we have the lab portion, which has this tool, SimPath, that is a little confusing to the students in the class, and I'll try to walk you through the way this actually works. But first, I will mention the objective of this is to prepare you for the credential exams. The credential exams are 4 different exams created by McGraw-Hill just to prove that you indeed possess skills necessary to operate in those programs. So for example, on your LinkedIn, you can share those once you pass the exam, and then the recruiter would see that you indeed do understand how Excel, Access, PowerPoint, and Word work. And then you will get little badges and also the certifications that you can share that will help you significantly when you are out of college and trying to look for a job. Okay, so for the SimPath grading logic, we have 3 different components. There is the pretest, lesson, and the post-test. The pretest grades you only on the correct answers. The lesson will show you how to work through those questions that you got incorrectly, and then the post-test will be the real actual test. But for those people who are already familiar with a lot of concepts, they will not necessarily have to do all of the work that is associated with the lesson and then take the same exact questions in the post-test. This is why we're implementing this pretest. So for example, if you're getting the question 1 correctly on the pretest, then in the lesson, you would not have to review this concept again because you already knew this. And then in the post-test, it automatically completes it for you as well, which means you're already getting those 20% of your grade here. Then the same logic applies to question 2. If you knew the question 2 in the pretest, then you wouldn't have to do this in the lesson, and then whenever you're moving to the post-test, that question will not show up either. This way, you're covering all of the concepts that you have already known, and you're arriving at the post-test after studying all of the areas of opportunity, new things that you will have to learn, and then you take the post-test, and then these grades are being added to whatever you started with, right? So now let's see the way this actually works. So we're going into the labs portion, right, into the Excel. Let's start Excel chapter 2. First things first, I'm going to take the pretest. It says the attempts allowed here is 1. That's for the test as a whole, but for each question you will have 2 attempts. And then in the post-test, it is the reverse of that. So for every question you will have only 1 attempt, but you can take the test twice. So I will press take the test. Let's wait for it to load, agree to the policies. The first thing that we're going to do is to read the prompt. Enter a formula in cell E2 using the XLOOKUP function to find the total sales for the day where the monthly sale, whatever, grade. I have no idea how to do this, so I'm going to skip this question. Let's read the next question. Enter a formula in the selected cell to calculate the value of cell E9 times 3, right? The cell is already highlighted. Let's do the formula here. So we'll do E9 times, let's get this wrong. Instead of 3, I'm going to press 2. I am getting the hint here. So this is what we should do. I'm going to continue. I'm taken to the next question. Nevertheless, don't forget, I have another attempt here on question 1, right? So I can do this again. I already know the hint and the correct answer, which will be E9 times 3. I'm going to enter, and the question is answered correctly. Perfect, right? So you're going through every single question like this, and then in the end, you will submit the exam. Then it will give you the correct and incorrect answers. Usually it gives you the hint as well how to actually solve that specific question. So you are coming back into the SimPath assignment. Now we're going to take the lesson. So for every lesson, you will have 3 different options here. So first, it will write out the whole concept, but instead of doing that, you can just do the show me part, where you will see the video that will guide you through the whole process. Then there is the guide me portion, where it will actually tell you step by step what to do. So say in step 1, enter the formula equals B15, right? And then it will take you to the next step and so on and so forth. And then the very last option is let me try. This one is mandatory for you to pass the lesson. So you will just have to do the same thing that it asks you to without doing the steps. So once that is complete, I'm going to exit the book, say you passed the whole thing. I'm going to press skip the lesson because we don't have this much time to go through the whole process. That will refresh, and then I finally can take the post-test. And in the post-test, I will get the same number of attempts and questions. As you can see here now, I have only 31 questions instead of 32 questions because one of them I have already answered. So I do not have to do that question in the post-test. I have that already reflecting in my grade. And then I will submit the exam and I will get the results here. So let me know if this is helpful, if there is something else that I can help you with. For example, if you would want me to walk through the solutions, just let me know, I can do that as well. Y'all have a good one.